Got another guitar cleanup video here. This one is very cool. Gonna need a fair amount of work as well. And this is an LTD Breaking Benjamin 6008 model. You can see those pretty cool red Breaking Benjamin inlays. My only complaint, just kind of looking at this guitar right out of the gate, is the inlays stop at 12 on the 12th fret and go to normal dots. I would have preferred to see the cool inlays go all the way through because it just looks kind of weird to me. But whatever, that's the guitar. A couple issues with this thing. Obviously these strings are really bad. This has, according to the customer, this has sat in its case in a storage unit for a few years as the guy moved across the country and kind of resettled his life. But the finish itself is really nice, in very good shape. It's just dusty and dirty. And this pickup has fallen, and I don't know if it's still actually connected to anything but the wires underneath. These screws are all real gross, so gonna replace all of that, get this mounted correctly, replace all these screws as well. All this hardware needs polished, and these knobs are pretty gross too. With that silver, it's kind of hard to see. There you go, you can see some of the dirt and grime that's built up on the knobs. Real cool thing about this guitar is the middle knob here is actually your three-way switch. That's kind of neat. I've never seen it before. So that's something totally new. The knobs do move really well. They move just fine, so the pots underneath should be good. The knobs themselves need polished and scrubbed and cleaned. So they've got the set screws there. You just back out the set screw a little bit, not all the way, and then it just lifts off. Super easy to fix. Everything else looks real solid though. Got a lot of dirt and grime that's built up on these tuning machines, so probably going to take those off and polish them as well. And then we'll put our set of Stringjoy 12 to 56 on there. Pretty heavy, and I believe this thing's getting set up in D standard, so we'll drop it down a whole step. There you have it. An LTD Breaking Benjamin 6008 model. Very cool red inlays. Very nice kind of transparent black finish. And we'll get it all cleaned up. Got the Breaking Benjamin guitar here. And I misspoke earlier, it is the BB-600B, not 8. I just can't read. And the B stands for baritone, so it is a baritone scale length. We got the whole body nice and cleaned up. Really didn't need too much work. Polished up all this hardware down here. Did realize, kind of interesting, you cannot fully remove the bridge because it has a Graphtec Ghost installed, which is very cool. If you've never seen a Ghost before, it is actually these little black saddles. They have a piezo system inside them, and they're very neat. I have one on my Telecaster, have a Ghost bridge there. So Graphtec Ghost piezo system, really cool. And we got our knobs polished, and they are crystal clear, super nice, look factory new, sparkle, everything, all three of them. So they're looking great. So we will get the knobs back on, get the bridge, the tailpiece here. This didn't really need any work at all, just hit it with a cloth and the mineral oil a tiny bit. Looks great. But we'll get all this hardware back and installed, string her up, and take it for a spin. We're back. The LTD Breaking Benjamin model 600 baritone, not 6008. Very cool. We got it obviously all strung up. Our Stringjoy 12s on here. Got it all cleaned and looking purty. This one wasn't too dirty to begin with though. Really the only major thing going on with it was this pickup. All it was is the little pickup screw that goes into the spring and holds the whole assembly together. It was just off the track. I don't know how that happens, but somebody backed it out too far probably. Another cool thing with the piezo on this, I've been fiddling with it just a little bit. Didn't even realize 2 outputs. That's always cool. So that is fairly common on guitars with a piezo, though my Telecaster does not have 2 outputs. But this one has, the one it's in right now is normal electric guitar, and it's on the bridge position, which you cannot see because remember that's this little guy. And we're just going into the Spark 40 and it's on a relatively clean channel. Hopefully you can hear that. Remember, this is a baritone, so we are tuned down to D standard. So sounds just like your normal electric guitar would sound. We can switch it to the neck pickup position. Not a whole lot different. I also have, if you can see here, I have the bridge pickup set a little low. I'm probably going to raise that up a bit. It's not quite as high output as I was expecting. I'll probably raise the neck just a touch as well. It's really easy to do with those screws on the middle of your humbucker rings. So these screws, don't screw them too far or you get what happened to this one, it backs out. But I'll probably be adjusting that. And let's hear the piezo. So remember, we switch to the second input, and then this knob down here, this third knob, controls your piezo, if I remember correctly. Yep. So that's your volume for your piezo is on this bottom knob. Very cool. Very nice sound to it. Again, just through the Spark 40 to my right. Very nice amp. I really like these things. I have it in white because it looks badass, but I need to get the katana in white to match it. But on the piezo, sounds like an acoustic guitar, and that is the purpose of the piezo. And if you can see on the camera, it's the saddles there. Those black saddles are the piezo saddles, and I don't really understand how that technology works, but somehow it transmits an authentic like vibration whatever as the signal instead of pickup output. So the pickups are off when it's on the piezo output, they don't do anything, and it's just that like the vibration from the saddle that's being sent into the signal. That's my understanding. I could be super wrong. But the goal of a piezo is you have an electric guitar that you can switch an input or switch a switch, whatever, and make it sound like an acoustic. And that's pretty cool. I like that. It's kind of unexpected. I had no idea this had a ghost bridge in it or anything, but you don't really get a Breaking Benjamin signature guitar baritone scale for the piezo, though it is cool to have. You get it for the metal tones. So back on that bridge pickup. One thing I will say as well, with this, the 3-way switch being a knob, or I guess it's a 2-way switch because you can't go to both pickups, but that being a knob is kind of odd, and it's cool, but it's kind of odd and kind of actually a poor function because you can't visually see which pickup you're on. And I could see that being a problem if you're switching pickups during a set, like if you're, soloing on the neck pickup like some people do and then playing rhythm stuff on the bridge pickup and you can't see it. I could see that being a problem, but for just playing at home and whatever, who cares? So this is just one of the metal presets on the Spark that I've probably tweaked a tiny bit. I doubt I've tweaked it too much, but we'll get more of that guitar in the frame as well, and my nice pale leg. One thing about playing baritone, it is a further reach by an inch or two, and if you don't play baritone often, it can take some getting used to. I have a couple baritone 6 strings, so I'm fairly used to it, but both of mine are also fan frets, so it's a little bit different, but it's not bad. That actually almost sounds like we're still on the neck pickup. Maybe this way. That's definitely the neck pickup there. You can tell that difference because it sounds more glassy, so. Versus. I do need to raise this pickup a bit. Maybe that'll help clean it up a little bit, but honestly, just the bare tone out of this, I'm not a big fan. I don't know. It sounds to me like a neck pickup here. Botched the end of that. But if this were my guitar, personally I don't like the red pickups either. I would black those out. I think a set of Seymour Duncan Black Winners in here would be killer. Or is it the Pegasus and the Sentient, that combo that everyone on earth likes? I would do a combo like that, because the red, to me, I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me. It's interesting, it's unique, but especially with this gorgeous black finish, I would want black pickups just to match. So. Say these pickups are ultra crystal clear, even playing through a less expensive amp like the Spark. That's about as crystal clear as you're gonna get. That's pretty articulate. Those notes don't really blend together, they don't interfere, they are pumping straight through. Maybe, I don't know. Trying to figure out, because it just doesn't have that bite of a bridge pickup that I expect, and it's kind of throwing me off. But still a very cool guitar. Playability wise, it's phenomenal. It's an expensive instrument. It's a high-end instrument. It's not cheap by any means, so it plays exactly as you would expect. My only complaint is it is a Les Paul. It's fairly thick, and it's a baritone Les Paul, which means it's heavy. It's got a relatively thick neck. It's not bad. It's not nearly as chunky as a lot of necks are. The frets, flawless. You're never going to find... You'll never beat that. The fretwork is absolutely tier 1. But yeah, just a little heavy. So for my taste, if I was playing this on stage or something, having it on my chest, I would imagine my shoulder would hurt quite a bit. Especially for a 6 string. If this was a 7 at this weight, that's not that bad. It probably does weigh about on par with like my SLS Elite, but it's a little bit heavy for a 6 string, and I don't know. Les Pauls tend to be heavy. Maybe people like them. Who knows? Good. That was a bad run. We'll put on my other little metal preset. go back and switch over to the piezo. There we go. None of the other knobs should do anything. Oh my God, there's a third position. Jesus, I just realized that. All right, well, before we do any more piezo stuff, we figured out it was just a little tight, so I didn't want to force it. It is a three-way switch. I'm a moron. I had the name of it wrong in the first part of the video. I had the switch wrong. I'm an idiot. So, back to metal. That's what we were on, which I believe now is both. This should be just the bridge. Versus this should be the neck. Maybe somebody reversed this, because to me that neck sounded better. The way to test this, and I think I've shown it in another video, is just use something metal. I have used this pen because it's been sitting on my music stand forever. So use the metal and it'll pick up the magnetic field, and you can tell which pickups. We're on the bridge. Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting magnetic pull out of both of them. That, to me, so the position all the way this way sounds more like a bridge pickup would. That's odd. You'd think that would be the neck because that's where it's rolling toward, but maybe it's not. Put it, I've got a doomier setting, and we'll put it on both pickups. So middle position, both pickups, D standard, should be pretty heavy. Not bad. Not too bad. We're turned up a little high on the spark. I think it's loud when you want it to. Even though it's just a very, very small amp, only 40 watts, it still pushes some power. I'm trying to remember this riff. Not a bad guitar. Overall, it's very cool. And it plays as good as you would expect for the price range. It's nothing phenomenal. Not the best guitar I've ever played. Certainly fits the expensive price tag. My only thing, and again, maybe it'll be different when I adjust the height of this pickup, but not a huge fan of that bridge pickup. But sounds really good. Sounds cool. The knob situation is still kind of blowing my mind. Looks great on the back. Same black finish. Neck through. As you can see. Looks great. Honestly, like I said before, the frets on this are about as good as you're ever going to find. I don't know if I have any guitar that has better frets than this. Tailpiece looks super cool too. Very cool silver color. I like it. Got those Dunlop strap locks on there. 2 outputs for the piezo. The piezo coming stock is wild. That's insane to me. I love it though. Very cool. I just don't know when you'd be playing a baritone breaking Benjamin guitar through a piezo trying to make it sound like an acoustic. But if you do, that's cool. So, awesome. Well, we'll see you in the next one.